Oh man, so it's not official. Liz Gale has left the building. So let me get my shilling out of the way. Please give my other channels a chance. Please consider supporting the channel through channel memberships or whatever other means. So, Liz Gale, what what has happened? Because only a few days ago, this is how fast things are going. She said, "Guys, I do have a lot of questions too. The community has been filled with a lot of question marks. Questions from Serge, questions from Nora, and I also have questions, guys." So I put these questions together and I thought about it, and it's like, I don't think I'm going to get answers, so I'm just going to leave. Right, you just got to think through how devastating this is to Aaron, that his cult, and there's no doubt about it now, this is a full-blown cult. Now, I've called it a fascist cult. You can call it a narcissistic cult, but it is definitely a highly authoritarian, very toxic cult. And it is so bad that Liz Gale's like, yeah, I could ask them questions, but I don't think they're going to answer. So I don't want to ask the questions. So I'm just going to leave. And by the way, she's not leaving the cult, right? She's not leaving Aaron. I mean, at least Nora said, "I now officially end my friendship with Aaron Smith-Levins." Now, I don't believe Nora at all. She's clearly still in the cult mentality, but you would have to give her credit that she did explicitly criticize Aaron. And she says, "Aaron is not special. We can ask questions." Now, her questions are still pathetic, but, give her some points. Liz Gale is not willing to do that, saying, "Guys, I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus. I don't do that. I'm just very positive, okay? Come on. We're here to be united in the communities against David Miscavige." Well, I agree. David Miscavige is way more evil than Aaron. There's no doubt about that. So we should be focused on the more evil guy. But what about the less evil guy? Liz Gale's like, "I really don't care about that anymore. I got to work on me. I'm going to go back to what I'm good at." And by the way, this was hilarious. In the video, she started off saying, "Now I'm going to focus on helping people get out of Scientology." Oh, wait, no, I'm not going to do that. She literally mid-sentence stopped and said, "Okay, no, I'm going to educate." So she's not even going to help people get out of Scientology. So it's like, well, what are you going to do now, Liz? I'm going to paint. I'm going to draw. I'm going to put out some videos. Right. Now, listen, books can be activism. That's totally legit. What I'm doing here is activism. Yeah, putting out content to help people and educate people. You can do activism in different ways. You don't have to be dogmatic, right? You don't have to be in front of a building yelling and screaming at, teenagers and cursing at them like Pearl Snappy, and her delusional Der Fuhrer attitude. Right. I know people don't like it when I keep bringing up the Hitler example, but believe me, Pearl Snappy really fits the mark. She is stark raving lunatic, but we'll deal with her down the road. Okay, so you don't got to do that. You don't have to be a full-blown revolutionary activist, whatever, Che Guevara shirt in front of a building. But still, you got to think this through. So Liz Gale's like, "Guys, I'm going to paint. I'm going to recover my voice and play with my horsies and do TikTok videos." Okay, well, Liz, you're refuting yourself. She says, "Listen, guys, on my TikTok, I got millions of people. Yeah, I got millions of my views on my TikTok." Well, Liz, Scientology is still here. So that is good. That is great. That is totally legit. What I am doing is totally legit. It is totally legit to do videos criticizing the evils of David Miscavige. But here's the difference. I criticize the evil of David Miscavige and I criticize the evil of Aaron Smith-Levin. See, Liz is trying to be cute, saying, "Guys, let's concentrate, okay? The cult is evil." I agree, the David Miscavige cult is evil. Right? Scientology, currently controlled by David Miscavige, is evil. With you 100% there. But why is it evil? Why is it evil? Like, there's something actually important here. There's something philosophically important. Not because of Liz Gale, because, And again, I'm not even personally attacking her. Listen, I used to be a fan of her. We got to be honest. Like, she is very pretty. She is very charming. And even though her messages are frankly poisonous, she does deliver it in a kind of nice way. It's like candy in a poison, right? That kind of thing. Like, it's a very sweet kind of poison she gives you. But it is poisonous, right? I've thought about this for a while. Like, if you have to explain to people just coming in, well, what is happening here? I don't understand. Seems like a big mess. Well, I would give them this, that in other movements, better movements, and I can only speak from the anti-war experience with Iraq, there you had people who were personally victimized by George W. Bush, right? And the Bush administration and the CIA and so on and so forth. And there was a good correspondence, right? The victims had principles, right? So it takes courage. It does. It takes courage to speak out that you're tortured by the CIA, right? I hate to be brutal, but it does take a lot of courage. Because again, they don't like that. Believe me. The Bush administration actively tried to censor people. It was not a good time to be a critic of the Bush administration. So what's my point? Well, those people who spoke out had moral courage and they had physical courage, right? Because it's not just your body is threatened, right? People were attacking your character, saying, well, why are you speaking out? What are you, a Muslim? Are you Al Qaeda? Are you like pro-terrorist? What's wrong with you? Oh my God, are you like a delusional anti-American? Are you like Noam Chomsky or something? Are you crazy? Like people just say these things. I get it. Noam Chomsky. I get it. Oh my God, he's a crazy communist. Now, Noam Chomsky is anti-capitalist, although I think he's a hypocrite. He's not, quote, pro-communist. He criticized the Soviet Union all the time. He wasn't consistent, but he did criticize the USSR. That's on the record. So, yeah. People were just being ignorant. But they would do that. They would just say, oh, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with your mother? Are you, like, weird? They would not address the question. So it takes both moral and physical courage in a good movement. Now, there are good people, right? I do think there are some good people, like Phil Jones, right? Jerry Armstrong, Jesse, Doug Scott Kramer. There were good people in this movement, but that's, frankly, a very small part of the movement. For a long time, you've had people like Aaron and Mike Rinder and others who are very questionable. Did they have physical courage to speak out? Yes, it requires physical courage. Scientology is very dangerous, but it wasn't morally courageous. There's no moral courage. Moral courage means you're willing to hold yourself to a standard and hold other people to a standard. Now, I am not claiming that I have that kind of moral courage in terms of Jerry Armstrong. I don't. Or even Doug Scott Kramer. I'm not claiming that level of moral courage. I am claiming I have more moral courage than Liz Gale because she has zero. She had physical courage to speak out against her former friends and family, but she's showing no moral courage. So yes, it does require courage to speak out against Scientology. I mean, is she really threatened? No, she's safe. Nobody's going to threaten her. She's safe. But still, there is a risk. It's small, but there is a risk, right? And frankly, she's not doing herself any favors. Like she was at one of these, quote, protests at the Portland org and just traipsing around, dancing around and saying, oh my God, Scientology's a threat. Well, Liz, if they're not a threat, there is no courage. Unless a threat is real, there is no courage. So it's not much courage, but there is courage. There is courage in speaking out, right, against people you were loyal to for, quote, a higher principle. Now, I thought, and many people thought, oh, the higher principle is helping the victims. But no, the higher principle was helping the Aaron cult. That's been her consistent principle. I'm here to help me. I'm here to help Aaron's, and I'm here to help my friends. Oh my God, guys, we're victimized in the cult. It's evil. It's And they're very good at play acting. They're screaming, oh, the children, oh, the elderly, oh, the abuse. But they don't really care. They only care about the people they know. They have no sympathy or empathy beyond those people. If other people get hurt, they don't care, right? It's only the people they choose to care about. They selectively care about a few victims. Now, you might say, well, that's just politics. You can't save everyone. And that's true, but you have to have a good principle. This is not a good principle. The principle is, well, if it helps me and my cult, if it helps the Aaron cult, it's good. So the Danny Masterson victims, right? The Masterson victims, they're good victims because they help with the propaganda. But what about the Louis Repetto victims? They're bad victims. They don't help with the propaganda. Louis Repetto, I don't want to ask those questions. Guys, I don't want to ask those questions. I need to recover my voice. That's what I need. I need to concentrate on me. Wow, okay. You are free to do that, Liz. You are free to do that. That is fine. However, me, I would be very hateful and critical if tomorrow, David Miscavige, what if he resigns? Say, I am no longer the COB. It turns out, like Scientology, it didn't work out for me. I'm a round table kind of guy. I need to leave. I need to recover my voice. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to talk about the crimes. Okay, guys, I need to relax. I need to educate. Okay, oh my God, I need to relax. I need to think about me for a change. What would I think? What would I think? What would you think? You think that is ridiculous. That is a joke. Now, to be clear, there's no evidence that Aaron Smith-Levin is on par with Miscavige at level of evil, but there were crimes. There were abuses. And to all that, Liz Gale is like, I'm just going to walk away. Well, what about the victims, Liz? What about the victims of AA Run? I don't want to know. I don't care. I don't want to ask him those questions. Guys, I'm not going to name names. The only time I'm going to name names is like Scientology's. But even that's not true. Even some Scientology victims, she doesn't care about. She doesn't talk about them, like Jerry Armstrong. Magically, they don't talk about him. He's one of the most victimized people in Scientology. They don't care about him. They're trying to ignore him. In fact, Serge, I'm going to call him out specifically, is like, if you are an old man in the Scientology or former, I do not care about you. Serge does not care. Well, Serge, like it or not, Jerry Armstrong helped people. Like the amount of people Jerry Armstrong helped is insane. He has literally helped hundreds to thousands of people. He has educated millions of people. His work in the courts and on the streets has literally done an immense amount of good. An immense amount of good. Now, what has Serge done? Well, he's inspired a bunch of yahoos to yell about Nimkus. Right? Just think about that. Jerry has helped us in real time with real court cases. Those are precedents that can help you if you're abused by Scientology. What is Serge going to do? Are you going to go to the judge? Judge, I saw a Serge video. Nimkus? They're going to look at you like you're bat crazy. On the other hand, with Jerry Armstrong, you can cite his court case. So we got to have a standard here. And again, I am not up to the Jerry Armstrong standard. Believe me, I don't have a court case that I say, oh, well, I helped this way. But that's the whole point. We should try to reach that standard. And Liz Gale's like, I'm going to play with my bunnies and my horsies and do some art, and I'll educate that way. Well, that's nice, Liz, but no, you're still a monster, right? And if tomorrow David Miscavige leaves Scientology officially, and he does not talk about the crimes, and does not rectify what he did to the victims, he's still a monster. Even if legally he can't go to jail, he is still a monster. You're a monster, right? There were people victimized by Aaron. There were people victimized by Lewis. There were people victimized by Tommy Scoville. They deserve some justice, right? But you don't care about them. Fine, you don't care about them. Please stop acting like you're a good person. You're not. It took courage to speak out against the cult. That's great. So I'll give her a point for courage. But is she a morally good person? No. Does she have any moral courage? No. She's just an insane narcissist asking for more money and attention. That's all she is.